you smell
What rah
is cooking?
Good morning, afternoon, or evening to you, depending on where you're watching this from in the world. Skidder Rob here, back with F1 2016 career mode. It's the Canadian Grand Prix.
Hey, good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
So yes, it is the Canadian Grand Prix. It's been a while since we've done one of these episodes, but let's not mess around too much. Having a look at the laptop here. We're going to get into practice in just a few moments' time. Yes, it's been a while with this career mode, but we're back. Let's go to practice one.
Here we are, live in Montreal at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, where the teams are making final preparations before today's practice session gets underway. In 1999, the outside track wall, situated on the last corner of the lap, ended the race of three Formula One world champions, Damon Hill, Michael Schumacher and Jacques Villeneuve. Since then, the wall has come to be known to fans around the world as the infamous Wall of Champions.
Turns 13 and 14 are definitely the most demanding corners on the track. A quick chicane section, entering at over 180 miles per hour, drivers use plenty of curb and get very close to the wall. But hitting those curbs at the wrong angle can easily put the car offline. You'll see a lot of drivers bail out of committing into turn 13, using the escape road to avoid contact with the wall.
So it is practice for the Canadian Grand Prix. We're going to start off, as usual, with the track acclimatization. As you can see, I probably need to do a little bit of work with that final chicane. Try not to hit the Wall of Champions, as it will catch you out very easily. We start the track acclimatization into turn 1. Hooking it up nicely there into turn 2, down to second gear, and we make it through turns 1, 2, nice and smoothly. A little bit of fishtailing around on the exit there into the chicane here, just about hitting the gates through that chicane. We blast down here. That's where Olivier Panis broke his legs. We're going to cut a little bit further into the track acclimatization test. This is the second lap. As you can see, we get a little bit onto the dirt there, and therefore we lose that corner, but you know, it wasn't the smoothest track acclimatization I've had so far. We're going to cut to the third lap of the test, down to the hairpin, down to second gear, get it through the car into the hairpin, and straighten it as much as you can for a nice smooth exit, a good slingshot onto this long back straight, heading to the final chicane to where that infamous Wall of Champions is. This track I don't mind too much. It's actually, like, it's quite a good track. This car isn't the best track around here. It requires a little bit of quite a nice bit of downforce combined with a good top end speed, in this car right now doesn't really have it, so it was a bit of a handful. So we come across the line here. We don't activate DRS on that lap, but we finished the track acclimatization test, no problems. We're now skipped to the tyre management test. Of course, as proven from some of the rounds of this championship season, this career mode so far, it's been a bit of my Achilles heel, really. Sliding around a lot here. I'm doing it on the ultra soft tyres to try and see how durable they are for a race stint. 7 laps on a set of super softs, sorry, a pair of ultra softs, is quite a long way to go. We're going to cut to the end of the test. As you can see, we've had a bit of a mixed bag for the test. We passed 3 laps and failed 2, but how are we going to finish this lap? But look at this, the tyres are in the red, so we're probably going to fail this lap, are we? Yes, we are. We're going to fail the tyre management test on this occasion. We're going to cut now to the start of our quali sim, heading towards turn 1. We get the car in a little bit too much curb on the inside. We actually accidentally dropped it to second gear, which is not ideal, if I'm honest. I'm going to cut a little bit further into the lap as we head down towards the hairpin in this amazing like stadium section, if you will, of the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve for the Canadian Grand Prix. We get a nice exit out of the hairpin though, despite being nowhere near the apex. A little bit of grass, trying to get the car over to the right hand side as much as possible. We're heading now down to the final chicane. DRS is activated here on this qualifying sim. Braking hard, throwing it in, and I basically just don't care about that corner and cut it a little bit. As you can see, I was down, so I wanted to try and make up some time, and it was a bit dirty of me, but we do get the lap done. And we try to start a second lap, but we just completely missed the corner, and we kind of abandon the rest of the test. So that's practice.
Hi, how are you? I'm just passing on your qualifying goals for this weekend.
So our qualifying target is to qualify 11th or higher. I reckon that might be doable. Let's see how we get on with qualifying. Over one lap, the car felt okay. But let's see how we do. Let's go to qualifying.
Hello and welcome from the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, home to the Canadian Grand Prix, for today's qualifying session. When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on in the corners and max out down the straights?
Top speed is a key factor for this circuit. Even if you can achieve the same lap time as someone running less wing than you, chances are you'll find overtaking difficult if you have too much drag.
So it is qualifying for the Canadian Grand Prix. We're heading over the line to start our first flying lap of this session. We're heading towards turn 1 here. Beautiful. Hit the apex into turn 2. We're trying to be nice and smooth here on this opening lap of qualifying. We head now a little bit further into the lap. We're in the DRS zone for the end of this first lap. As you can see, Rosberg is currently quickest, having set an initial effort into the final chicane. And we completely missed the corner. So this lap is heavily compromised already. Well, already near the end of the lap, and so early in this qualifying session. We do pop up in P5, somehow ahead of Jenson Button's McLaren. But we go on to another lap here on this set of ultra softs, using all the curb there on the inside. We'll cut a little bit further down. Look at this, with Delta is green now. We are down to P6. Braking hard for the hairpin, down to second gear, throw the car into the hairpin, into this stadium section, now out of the hairpin, heading down towards the final chicane now. Lovely exit, the DRS zone is coming up shortly. There it is now, activated as always, heading down towards this final chicane. Now, can we get the chicane right? It's proving to be a massive problem from us in this car on this race weekend. We throw it in. That is probably the best I've taken that chicane all weekend. Lovely bit of curb on both sides. Not much time lost from sliding around. Across the line, we go to P3. P3, but we finished the session in 10th. And look at that, Palmer is ahead of us. Can you believe that?
Hello. I just wanted to pass on the team's expectations for this race. Good luck.
So our target is to finish 11th and to beat Julian Palmer. Well, let's see how we get on, shall we? Let's go to the Canadian Grand Prix.
Canada has a true love affair with Formula One. The grandstands here are always packed to capacity. It's a country that has given us the likes of Gilles and Jacques Villeneuve, the thrilling Grand Prix of 79, of 98 and of course 2011. They love their motorsport in Montreal, and we absolutely love coming here. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. It's a favourite for fans and drivers alike then here in Canada. We're used to seeing the unexpected happen here, and with me today to enjoy it all is Anthony Davidson, a man who knows firsthand the surprises that can pop up in this race.
I do indeed. I had a good chance of some points here in 2007, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. With my old colleague Takuma Sato though, he managed to finish 6th, so the team took home 3 valuable points, and that was a big boost to everyone at the time. I'm not sure I can think of anywhere else that so consistently provides the kind of late race excitement we get here. Obviously, towards the end of the Grand Prix, the brakes are getting worn, maybe the weather situation has changed, so there's a lot to keep fighting for all the way up to that final corner.
If we keep up this level of performance, I think you'll be promoted to #1 driver. So let's make sure we get a good result today.
So here we go then, it is the Canadian Grand Prix. We are looking at a one-stop strategy, I think, for this Grand Prix. Here in Canada, tyre wear is kind of on the borderline of being a bit of a problem, but, you know, you can see there the tyre life is okay. You know, for a one-stop strategy. Ultra soft following by the soft tyre, avoiding the super soft like the plague. Let's go to the formation lap then for the Canadian Grand Prix. We've got our teammate Julian Palmer on our left-hand side. We'll have the advantage though because we're going to be on the racing line, the preferred line, I think. Some drivers like to go across to the left. So, oh, look at this, Palmer. Just notice Palmer has decided to drop back massively. We're going to let him back through because we don't want to cause any problems. We'll slot back into our 10th place for this Grand Prix on the formation lap here. We'll come round. We're following our teammate here, warming up the tyres, warming up the brakes, getting ready for this Grand Prix. It's quite a long one here, the Canadian Grand Prix, especially because it is very tight. It feels like it's a street circuit. We're getting very close to our teammate, and we have made contact with Palmer. We've made contact with our teammate, and look at this. We've been disqualified from the formation lap. Can you believe it? Surely Palmer must be the same. He was brake checking the hell out of us. There's Palmer! Palmer, the two Renaults have collided. As you can see, the pit wall must be going absolutely ballistic right now. They can't believe what's just happened. That is insane stuff. The fact that both Renaults have made contact, as you can see, and we're going to, the AI, the game's taken over, and for the second time this season, we are going, in fact, might even be the third time this season, we are at the back, no, sorry, not the back of the field. We have basically been told off on this formation lap, and we will have to wait. There we go, both Renaults on the grid. Oh, unbelievable. Hopefully the race is a bit better from this point. We'll go to the red lights, we'll skip to that. Here come the 5 red lights, and the Canadian Grand Prix is underway. We're having a pretty decent start. Look at Raikkonen, who's got an absolute shocker, and Palmer's on our left. It's going to get really tight. Look at Massa, we've had to back off into turn 1 up the inside, and Ricciardo, we made a little bit of contact with that Red Bull. We'll go around the outside, a little bit but we made a collision with Palmer, so the two runners were collided again. The pit wall must be going absolutely ballistic at that. I didn't feel any contact with Palmer. We'll go around the outside of Felipe Massa, and me and Massa have now made contact. There's two cars, and look at that, there goes the Red Bull of Verstappen. Verstappen has hit the wall coming out of turn 4 into this corner here, but Vettel famously went wide, and Button took the lead of 2011's Canadian Grand Prix. So we're already up into P6 here on this opening lap. We've got the charging Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. He's going to do everything in his power to get back in front of us. Oh, sliding around. We are just struggling here. Heavy fuel, early stage of this Grand Prix. We're under huge pressure from Max Verstappen as we head towards the hairpin. Sliding around on the brakes, the left rear got onto the white line, I think, causing the car to slide around like crazy under the brakes. We're now accelerating towards the chicane, where the infamous Wall of Champions awaits its victims for this Grand Prix. Heading towards the chicane now. Flat out over 200 miles an hour in 8th gear, braking hard, bit bumpy on the braking zone. We turn in, and look at this cluster. We have Vettel, we have Rosberg, and we have Ricciardo. And we passed both Rosberg and Ricciardo in one move, and we're chasing down Vettel. And did I see Bottas is leading this Grand Prix? Did I see that? He's the fastest man on this first lap, which must mean that the Williams driver, our rival at the moment in this career mode, is leading this Grand Prix. We'll cut to near the end of lap 2, and we are now really hounding the rear of Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari. Coming onto this back straight, we'll stick the car into rich mix to give us as much power down this back straight as possible. And look at the toe we're getting on the Ferrari. We're going to go up the inside, are we? And the move is done before the corner. Yes, it is. We checked the mirrors, and we're ahead of Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari. We're up into P3, but we slide around. We make contact with the wall. That is not what you want to do coming out of the final chicane towards the Wall of Champions. We tuck back into Vettel's slipstream, up the inside. Oh, we've made more contact. Vettel and we've made contact with Vettel, but I don't really know who to distribute blame at. I had the inside. Vettel still decided to turn in. We'll cut to lap 5, and we still got the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. We can't shake the Ferrari. Huge understeer there coming out of that corner. Oh, it's an absolute mare at the moment. Look at the pressure that Vettel, for the second race in a row, Sebastian Vettel is putting us under massive pressure. Heading into the DRS zone. We'll stick the car in rich mix. In fact, it might have already been in rich mix. I'm not too sure. We're heading down into the DRS zone, but Vettel is dropping back as we head in that vital DRS zone here towards this final chicane here. Can we hold on to third place? Yes, we can. Into the chicane. Not as quick for the final chicane as you'd like. Vettel will get a second dose of DRS over the line, but we have held on to Vettel here on this occasion here on lap 5. We'll cut to halfway through lap 6, getting very close to the wall here, breaking down into the chicane. Hanging on. Oh, Felipe Massa is out of the Grand Prix here, as you can see pop up on the screen. Heading down towards this next chicane at the bottom of the straight. Fernando Alonso is out, and must have been a collision because the virtual safety car is out. I made a little bit of contact under the bridge there. The virtual safety car has been deployed, which will hold the field in station here. We have to hit a certain delta point. There goes the green flag here at the beginning of lap 7, so we weren't held up too much by the virtual safety car. And Hulkenberg is out. Hulkenberg is out of this Grand Prix. So we've had 3 retirements in a very quick space of time here, sliding around. We cannot hold on to this Renault in certain situations here. on this 7th lap. Look at this, we're on the grass and we're sliding around. We basically do a Vettel in front of Vettel into that very chicane where Vettel 5 years ago in 2011 had that infamous slide which cost him the victory and gave Jenson Button the best win of his life. Under the bridge here, into the chicane, using all the curb on both the inside and the outside of the chicane, both parts, heading towards the hairpin here. We've still got that Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel all over the back of us. I feel like we are very much outperforming the car here. On the white line again, we are really struggling to keep the car away from those white lines, away from the grass, as we are trying everything to eke out a bit of time. And look at that huge slide there, going up the gears, and Vettel will have DRS, and he's going to get very close. We have a yellow flag, so Vettel, even if he wanted to, cannot have a look. There he goes, he's passing us under yellow flag conditions. He lets us by. We have a slow-moving car there. Pulled over to the side, but we decide to end this as the track, the tyres are so slippery right now that we're going to dive into the pits for our only stop of the race. Maybe try and convert to a 2-stop. We're going a little bit earlier than we planned, but these ultra softs have gone off quite a lot. We'll jump onto the soft tyres, which by all accounts have got a pretty decent life to them. Now, when I come out in front of a gaggle of cars here, into a gaggle of cars, here they all are. Where are we going to come out in relation? Look at this, a massive train. Braking late, and we are behind Jenson Button and Verline in the manner. We're going up the inside of Pascal Verline and Jenson Button. We're up the inside of Verline, and we get that done quite easily. Jenson Button in the McLaren is in front of us now. We can get past that McLaren, I feel, as we move a little bit. Sorry, we're not moving on just yet. That's coming up in a second. We are still chasing Jenson Button as we're going to move on a little bit further on now. A little bit further on to lap 8 as we are chasing Jenson Button's McLaren, heading into the hairpin. We outbrake the McLaren. We almost hit the back of the Red Bull, very close indeed, but we get past Jenson Button, and we're going to get DRS into this onto this back straight, and a great tow, multiple tows I think here. Loads of cars are very close. There's the DRS. And our teammate Palmer's in the pits, but we don't care about that right now. We're chasing Ricciardo in the Red Bull. Look at this. We've got Gutierrez and Kvyat in front. We are past Ricciardo. We're going to get an absolutely awesome exit. We're past Gutierrez, and we're going to have a look at Kvyat. So we pass Gutierrez. We tuck into Kvyat slipstream. Moving up the inside. Can we get a free car move done in the space of a few corners? Yes, we bloody well can. Absolutely awesome driving, but I have to say, free cars in a space of a few corners. We're cut to lap 9. We are chasing Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Oh, this is crazy. Max Verstappen is yet to pit, of course. He's still on those ultra softs, who must feel really ancient by this point. And it's easy pickings up the inside of Verstappen. He gives us a good fight. He goes around the outside. Oh, Verstappen is still hanging on in there in that Red Bull. But we're going to get DRS. As you can see, I actually backed off a tiny bit to make sure we were behind Verstappen over the DRS line to ensure we got it down this back straight. Absolutely, pretty good tactics, if I'm honest, as we come into the chicane here for the 9th time. All the cub on the inside. Hardly any cub on the outside. We've hit the wall of champions. Oh my goodness, we've actually hit the wall, but we've got away with it on this occasion. We head now towards the final chicane here on lap 11. We have Sainz in front of us. Of course, Sainz, yet to pit, I think, as we head into this final chicane for the 11th time. Oh, too much cub on the inside. We've made contact with the wall. Oh, we've hit the barrier on the other side. The wall of champions has claimed a new victim, and it's me. Let's watch the replay. Let's see what happened here. I was really conservative on the entry to the chicane, but too much curb on the exit. Let's see what happens here. We're going to go into the chicane here. We just understeer, turned in too early. We get a big slap on of opposite lock, and we end up hitting the wall, which throws us into the opposite wall, and we are out.
A great win then for the Mercedes team today. To wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe that? Oh, I'm so disappointed. We only got to 11 laps of the Canadian Grand Prix before crashing out. Our second retirement of the season. And of course it had to be in the Wall of Champions. We are down to 7th in the championship. Bottas getting a podium. Good on him. Well, that's the Canadian Grand Prix. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully get some more videos out before I go on holiday. If not, it'll be in about over a week's time, I think. See you later. Thanks for watching.